Welcome to Another Thing You Know. By definition, someone who habitually puts off doing things is a procrastinator. Think about an important task that you were working on with a deadline. Now think about the duration of the time you spend on this task. A rational workflow will look something like this, focusing on less work towards the deadline date. But if you are a procrastinator, your work representation will look something like this. Most of the time would be spent near to the deadline as opposed to at the beginning. This behavior, called procrastination, is far more common than you think. While there is no clear number, various studies point out that about 20 to 40% people are procrastinators in some form or the other. And when we procrastinate, we are not only aware that we are avoiding the task in question, but also that doing so is probably a bad idea, and yet we do it anyway, thanks to evolution. Procrastination is actually not about delaying a task. It is not about laziness, but rather is a complex psychological and emotional behavior trait, which dates back to human evolution. Early human life was focused on short-term survival, so our ancestors were wired to prioritize short-term goals and have passed on a few similar traits to the future generations. So let's see why we procrastinate. In simple terms, we do it because the short-term reward of not doing a task, often that seems boring and not important, is perceived higher than the long-term rewards of finishing the same task, a phenomena known as delayed discounting. For example, you're watching this video but not clicking on the like button, knowing that subscribing to the channel will provide you access to more fun content in your future. So listen to this cheeky example and click that like button. But coming back to the topic, there is a deeper psychological mechanism on why we feel the need to procrastinate and focus on the short-term rewards of denial. Feeling overwhelmed and anxious is one of the biggest. For example, you need to write a paper, and before even starting, you might feel anxious about how others would take it. Will it be of the quality needed, etc. The fear of failure in this case causes the anxiety and makes you delay the start of the paper. Lack of intrinsic motivation is another big factor that leads to procrastination, especially when the task at hand is not of topmost priority. Every individual has different motivation levels, and it is this difference that sometimes defines the level of procrastination displayed. Some other behavioral causes of procrastination are abstract goals, where the objectives defined for a task are just vague. Fear of feedback, especially negative feedback, and feeling overwhelmed by the task at hand. It is an interesting psychological behavior and ironic as well that we procrastinate to avoid negative feelings, but end up feeling even worse at the end. So now we know why we procrastinate, but can we do something about it? Well, yes. While there is no one-size-fits-all solution here, experts believe that there are two things that might help. First, break the task at hand and complete it in bits and pieces. The biggest problem in starting a new project is to start that project. So prioritize and schedule the smaller pieces rather than just going for the big elephant. Second, and probably more important, is rewarding yourself throughout the small wins. Our brain releases dopamine when we do something that we like and are happy. So continue to give small doses of dopamine to your brain throughout the process rather than living in anxiety and just feeling happy at the end. Moving away from distractions that cause hindrance in your progress is also a good idea. So now you have no reason to procrastinate. So again, hit that like button and comment down if the video helped you in any way. Thanks for watching.